email-writer, enter. 10 seconds. A perfectly structured professional email, right tone, 3 paragraphs, clear next step at the bottom, every single time. 1/command, that is all it took. Now think about what you did this morning. You opened Claude Code, you typed a paragraph explaining what you wanted. The tone, the format, the length, the sign-off. You waited, you got something decent. Tomorrow, you will do it again and different wording, different result, inconsistent, exhausting. You are explaining your coffee order from scratch every single morning, and the barista is different every time. There is a way to hand your AI a card. And later in this video, I will show you how 2 of these cards chain together to save you over 40 hours a year. The math on that will surprise you. That card is called a skill, and you can build your first one in 5 minutes. No code, just plain English. By the end of this video, you will have built 2 of them, and then you will chain them together into something that saves you real hours every week. Picture your last work week. Monday morning, you opened Claude Code and wrote a long prompt to draft a client email. Tuesday, you opened it again, rewrote the same instruction slightly differently, got a slightly different result. Wednesday, same thing. Thursday, Friday, 5 days, 5 times explaining the same task from scratch. The American Productivity and Quality Center studied this. Knowledge workers spend only 30 of 40 weekly hours on productive work. 10 hours gone. And Smartsheet found 60% of workers believed they could save 6 or more hours per week if their repetitive work was automated. Across a year, 520 hours. This is not a discipline problem. This is a system problem. You are the bottleneck, not your AI. Your AI is fast. Your AI is capable, but you keep starting from zero every single session. And that is what we are going to fix right now. Lovely McInerney is a CPA, former Big Four auditor, over 10 years in accounting, zero coding background, none. She started using Claude Code for her accounting work, and she did not just prompt it, she built skills, production skills. One that parses purchase agreements and pulls out the relevant terms. One that generates journal entries from transaction data. One that calculates depreciation schedules across different asset classes. Here is what she said, and I want you to really hear this. I pictured skills as fancy prompt templates. I was wrong. Domain expertise is what matters, not coding. An accountant, building production tools with text files. So what exactly is a skill? Think of it this way. When you create a Claude.md file, that is like giving a new employee a company handbook. General information, background, preferences, context about who you are and what you do. A skill is different. A skill is a recipe card, one specific dish, step by step, exactly how to make it, every time. Claude.md says, here is who I am and how I work. A skill says, when I ask you to write a professional email, here is exactly how to do it. And the file structure is almost embarrassingly simple. Inside your project, there is a folder called .claude. Inside that, a folder called skills. Inside that, you create a folder for your skill, email-writer for example. And inside that folder, one file, SKILL.md, that is it. The architects at Anthropic, the company that built Claude Code, put it this way, your AI is like a phone. Powerful hardware, great operating system, but without apps, it just sits there. Skills are the apps. You do not make a phone better by upgrading the operating system every day. You install the right apps. A skill is an app for your AI, and you write it in English. Here is exactly how we are building one right now. Step 1. Open your project in Claude Code. You need a folder called .claude, then inside it a folder called skills, then inside that a folder called email-writer. 3 folders. 10 seconds. Step 2. Inside that email-writer folder, create one file, call it skill.md, all caps skill.md. Step 3. At the top of that file, write a short header. 3 dashes, then a line that says name email writer and another that says description, write professional emails with a warm, clear tone. 3 dashes again to close it. That header tells Claude Code what this skill does when it shows up in your command list. Step 4. Below the header, write your instructions. This is the recipe, plain English. Here is what I would write. Ask the user for the recipient name, the subject, and the key points to cover. Then write a professional email using a warm but direct tone. Structure it in 3 paragraphs, context, key message, and clear next step. Always end with a specific action item, not a vague closing. Keep total length under 200 words. That is it. That is the entire skill. 7 lines of instruction. Now, I want to teach you something most tutorials skip. Here is how I thought about what to write in those instructions. I asked myself one question: what do I repeat every single time I write a professional email? The greeting format, the 3-paragraph structure, the tone, warm but not casual, the sign-off with a clear next step. Those 4 things I repeat every time became my 4 instructions. Your repeating patterns are your skill instructions. Step 5. Go back to Claude Code, type /email-writer. It appears in your command list. Select it. Claude Code asks you for the recipient, the subject, the key points, exactly what your instructions told it to ask. You answer, and 10 seconds later, a perfect email. Consistent, professional, the same quality every time. That moment, the first time you type a /command and watch it work, that is when it clicks. You wrote plain English, you saved it in a text file, and now your AI follows those instructions perfectly on command forever, not once, every time. Now here is the thing that trips people up, and I want to be honest about this. The number 1 mistake is writing instructions that are too vague. Write a good email gives you nothing. It is the same as prompting from scratch. The skill is only as good as your instructions. Warm, professional tone, 3 paragraphs maximum, always end with a specific next step, keep it under 200 words. That is what gives you consistency. Specificity is the whole game. If your first skill gives you a mediocre result, do not throw it away. Add one more line of instruction, test again, add another. The skill gets better every time you refine it. That is the beauty of a text file. You can edit it in 30 seconds. Let us build the second one, faster this time, because you already know the pattern. New folder inside .claude/skills, call it meeting-summarizer. One file inside SKILL.md, header with name and description. Then the instructions. When invoked, ask the user to paste their meeting notes or transcript. Extract the key decisions, action items with owners and open questions. Format as a structured summary with 3 sections: decisions made, action items with owner and deadline, and open questions. Keep it under 150 words. Same pattern, different domain. Create folder, write file, type /summarize-meeting. Paste in some rough meeting notes, the kind where someone typed, Bob mentioned Q3 budget might be tight, Sarah will check vendor pricing, also we need to decide on the new hire by Friday. 10 seconds later, structured summary. Decisions separated from action items separated from open questions. Each action item has an owner and a deadline. No more digging through a wall of text trying to remember who agreed to do what. 2 skills. Same 3 steps, you already see the pattern, and notice something, writing the second one was faster because the pattern is the same every time. Folder, file, instructions, that is all a skill ever is. 2 skills, same pattern, but here is what happens when you put them together. You just had a meeting, you have messy notes, you type /summarize-meeting, paste the notes, you get a clean, structured summary in 10 seconds. Now you take that summary and type /email-writer. Send a follow-up to the team with the meeting summary and action items. Another 10 seconds, a professional email with the summary embedded, action items listed, and a clear ask at the bottom. 2 skills, 20 seconds of your time versus what used to take, let me actually do the math. Reading through messy notes, pulling out decisions, formatting action items, opening your email, writing a professional message, reviewing it, sending it, that is 25 to 30 minutes, twice a week, 50 weeks a year. That is over 40 hours. Gone, reclaimed. Remember the 520 hours of repetitive work I mentioned earlier? You just took back nearly 10% of it with 2 text files. Remember I said the math would surprise you? Here is the part I did not expect when I first discovered this. Those 2 skills you just built, they do not just work in Claude Code, they work in Cursor, they work in Codex, they work in Gemini CLI, JetBrains, GitHub Copilot. 16 tools and counting, same file, same folder structure, same instructions. In December 2025, Anthropic released something called the Agent Skills Open Standard. It means a SKILL.md file is not locked to one product. It is a universal format. The same way a USB-C cable works with your phone, your laptop, your tablet, and your headphones. A skill works with any AI tool that supports the standard. 87,000 developers start the skills repository on GitHub. 425,000 skills are already in the marketplace, and you just learned the exact same format those skills use. You are not learning a trick for one tool. You are learning a format that works everywhere. Skills are the USB-C of AI. I want to give you some honest context for what this looks like at scale, because it is not just about email and meeting notes. I have over 60 skills running the channel you are watching right now. One skill researches topics and pulls fresh data. Another one creates episode outlines. Another writes the script section by section. Another generates thumbnails. Another writes the YouTube description and tags. Another creates the LinkedIn post. Another writes the school community post. Every piece of content you see from me, every video, every post, every newsletter runs through skills. And I am not the only one. A project manager who called themselves a Claude Code skeptic 4 weeks prior said, and I am quoting, "I tried creating tools that would help me manage teams and overdue reminders, and holy crap." Jaskaran Bedi, a product manager with no coding background, built a Reddit monitoring tool from a single skill and deployed it as a live website. This is what people are building. Not theoretical, not someday, right now, with text files. And if you are wondering what to build after tonight, here is how to think about it. Grab a notebook. For 1 week, every time you catch yourself typing detailed instructions to an AI, write down what you asked for. By Friday, you will have a list of 5 to 10 tasks you repeat constantly. Those are your skills. A proposal writer, a weekly report formatter, a client onboarding checklist generator, an invoice template. Whatever you repeat, that is a skill waiting to be written. Brian Donnellan, a new parent with no development background, built a multi-jurisdiction tax calculator skill. Saved $300 he would have paid a CPA. And he still has the skill. It runs every year. One afternoon of writing instructions replaced an annual expense forever. That is the compounding effect. Every skill you build saves you time, not once, but every single time you use it for as long as you use it. 5 skills saving you 10 minutes each, used twice a week. That is over 80 hours a year from plain English text files. So here is what I want you to do tonight. Not tomorrow, not this weekend, tonight. Open Claude Code. Navigate to your project. Any project, any folder. Create the .claude folder. Create the skills folder inside it. Create one folder for your first skill. Write one SKILL.md file, 7 lines of plain English instructions for something you do repeatedly. Type the / command, watch it work. That is it. One folder, one file, one command. Remember the coffee order from the beginning of this video? You just built the card, you are never explaining from scratch again. And here is what changed in the last 13 minutes that you might not have noticed. You did not just learn about skills, you built 2. You chained them, you understand the pattern, you know that the same file works across 16 tools. You know that an accountant with 0 coding experience built production skills that run a real practice. You are not someone who prompts AI anymore. You are someone who builds skills. Comment skill below and I will send you the starter kit. 3 SKILL.md templates ready to customize plus a chaining guide. And if you want to build alongside a community of people doing this every day, Agent Skills Academy on School is where we go deeper. Link is in the description. One text file, plain English. 5 minutes, go build.